A good Thursday, everybody. This is Gavin Batista at the Prosperity Channel. Things are heating up. In fact, it is very clear that this exclusive is strictly for our friends at Unilever in Great Britain. It is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, that the Sri Lankan has finally accepted one of the most, I think, probably in the history of Unilever, this is probably one of the most crucial parts where it could have been done either way, either a huge success or a huge failure. And if that particular angle in their history was focused on the right people, Unilever, with all my reputation on the line here, would not be getting this $52 and change stock market price at the big board. Not to mention this very lackadaisical way they present their very good products, in my opinion, one of the best products in the world, in big stores all over the world, including here, of course, in the United States of America. I was just in another location a while ago, and it is very clear that the Sri Lankan would like to apologize for the many, to put it in very diplomatic terms, inconveniences that were done to the loyal stockholders of Unilever. Not to mention the many fans that Unilever continues to enjoy, but because of very, very poor sales teams, they were not able to sustain, or they were not able to translate what the marketing department, the marketing executive committee wanted to happen in every single store, whether it be a big box store all the way to a very small store, a convenience store, what have you. Unilever can become an overnight success to our new CEO, Mr. Fernando Fernandez. You very well know that this Sri Lankan deliberately wanted to find a small aspect of I would say one of my most spectacular performances, both in the multinational, transnational, and in the conglomerate world. 600% of gross sales achieved in less than 6 months in the cosmetics skincare division, now known as Unilever, because before it was a company, a great company called Cheese Bro Ponds. And we were coordinating very, very well with a gentleman by the name of Ramoncito Galang, a Filipino from, because that was so long ago, 1986, July to December 1986, at the heart of Metro Manila, called Paseo de Rojas. I will not mention the building because there are so many controversies out there that I would not like to amplify again, because it will only build a lot of animosity. And as you know very well, right now in London, there is a civil war in Unilever right now. And as Nelson Peltz would put it, if I may paraphrase it, the culture of Unilever must change in order to achieve $100 per share tomorrow morning. Because if they understand the latest negotiating technique out there, which is the push and pull technique, it has nothing to do, for crying out loud, about supply and demand. Absolutely a farce. That's why this gentleman on the left corner, I don't know where he comes from, but the rumor is he's from Colgate-Palmolive. But the bottom line is this: if you follow the push and pull technique, you will be achieving on every single transaction the maximum profit for that given transaction. And a lot of people copy this, including a group from Procter & Gamble, as I said, in Los Angeles, California, when I was there, and in Orange County, California. That person is by the name of Dexter Decena. So I thought I was already a goner, but now it's very clear that even this so-called, I don't know what, I never met the guy, but he always used my good name. His name is Ed Villano, okay? I wanted to meet him face to face, but unfortunately, because he is connected with a certain relative of mine, I wanted to diffuse the tensions during that time. But there are so many pretenders, copycats, worthless individuals that at the end of the day do not deliver what they say. And they always equate cosmetics, especially skincare at that, with selling other category products or other product categories. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have not slept yet, by the way. This is a rush thing because of what happened just a while ago because of this Sri Lankan. So, it is not true that if you sell skincare, cosmetics, and you can sell it as a generic form. Absolutely false. Absolutely false. Especially if you go to OTCs, pharma, consumer products, food products, beverage. It has nothing to do with that. And that's why the investors of Unilever are very sad. Because all this Sri Lankan had to do was tell the truth. And now and only now do they realize it. Because as I was telling them, who is to blame now? Okay? Because the numbers were so clear. And there is this Filipino, I will not name his name because he is connected with a certain business personality back in the Philippines, which I respect a lot. Okay? He comes out with all of these half-baked statements that we already achieved what you are talking about. So when I looked at the financials, it was a giveaway. Because most of the big box stores, ladies and gentlemen, do a power play. They dictate every single thing you want, every single thing that will be done in their stores. That is assuming if that particular negotiator in behalf of the company like Unilever is as amateurish as this person. Because it's very clear that the net profits, net sales, the net margins above all have not been achieved at all. In fact, it was a giveaway. In other words, the volume of 1,000, 2,000 100%. Well, I call it as a warehouse deal. What is a warehouse deal? They just transfer it from one warehouse to the other without considering the net margins. That's why it's called a giveaway sale. So, Mr. Fernandez, I'd like to be very direct. If you want things to happen overnight, I am open for my consulting. We have a company in the United States called Midwestern Business Advisors LLC, global consulting and U.S. consulting division. I can easily accommodate Unilever and make things happen overnight right here in the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. Overnight. So, let me get into the other part of my discussion today, because there are so many forms of sales negotiations. And sales negotiations mean to say that you are in control of all departments. It's not the other way around. The idea where marketing will be controlling sales has been a goner, ladies and gentlemen, for so long. And I did that for a company called Johnson & Johnson. It was so successful that for the first time, a Filipino subsidiary was able to garner the highest honor ever, called the Silver Award for Overall Management Excellence since 1886. And they copied it, but failed, as usual. In fact, it was so bad that J&J had to unload it to a company called Kenvue, which to my mind is still subject to so many question marks, but I don't want to speculate right now. I'd like the Kenvue executive team to do what they have to do to achieve their numbers, because right now it's simply at $2 billion, correct me if I'm wrong, $2 billion in gross sales, and it is starting to achieve a 20-30% more or less gross profit margin. When I was with Cheesebro Ponds Unilever, our gross profit margins hit 40 all the way to 65%, because I was in control. And when there was already political animosity between sales and marketing, here comes the Sri Lankan to accuse me, ladies and gentlemen, to accuse me of coming out with a graft case. And we were all there. We were all there. Ramoncito Galang was there. He was there. And what was the problem? You know what was the problem? They accused me of stealing money. And so I said, what did I steal? What is the graft and corruption case? To cut the long story short, ladies and gentlemen, I was accused of giving a bouncing check, a personal check from me to the company to the tune of 1,320 pesos. And I said to my, honorable regional sales manager by the name of Ramoncito Chito Galang. So, it happens to certain issues, but it is very clear that that was not intentional at all. And during that time, the banking system in Manila, the ATM, was not clear on the ATM card, whether it was going to be on the savings or checking account. That's number one. That's what I told this Sri Lankan. Okay, that is what I told this Sri Lankan. So there was no problem on that. And therefore, I had to pay it out of my own pocket. 1,320 pesos during that time was about $47 and change. So now, the Unilever guys, about several years ago, no, this guy is Bautista is bluffing us. That is all not true. That is all a fallacy. That is all a lie. He is not telling the truth. But now it's very clear that it was really $47 and change. $47 and change. And the real reason is this. He had to find a way to eliminate me because I was practically breaking all-time high world record sales. World record sales. In the very tough cosmetic business, in the very tough skincare business, in the very tough nail polish business, in the very tough makeup business, in the very tough fragrances business. And we were developing new products, ladies and gentlemen, for Cheese Bro Ponds International. And that's why when I was in putting diplomatic terms on the line here, because Filipino professionals are the most professional in terms of word of honor and delicadeza out there. And if I may say, he said, "You have to go, Charlie." And in very fast terms, I said, "Of course." So there was the turnover and all that. And on the 6th month, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, I still broke the record. Again, reaching to 600%, the highest possible GP, the highest possible net income, if all my plans succeeded. Because I was already promised a very, very high position after my 6th month. And as I said, the only way that that would not happen is if he were to find something wrong with me. And that something wrong was $47 and change. $47 and change. But I will not mention the bank right now because, again, I do not want to add more fire to the fuel. But it is very clear that the Sri Lankan is here right now. I saw him with my own 2 eyes, despite the Asian Indians continue to read my mind, which some say before as a sign of lunacy on my part. Oh, really? Oh, really? Mind reading, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most done activity in the United States of America. It is the best tool of corporate espionage, and the Asian Indians know that. In fact, Satya Nadella would know that. And so I'd like to be very, very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Unilever can become an overnight success. Overnight. Because the 52 and change has been there forever. And that's why comparing it to other multinationals like Procter & Gamble, Nestle, Kimberly-Clark, these guys simply have stolen the storm from Unilever. And Johnson & Johnson still, in my opinion, should consider in the future coming out with new products focusing on healthcare, but consumer healthcare. Some have done it, but the products are extremely questionable. And therefore, what are we going to do right now? The best way to develop your company overnight is to come out with a new system, which I proposed earlier, where the sales, or for a lack of better term, sales negotiator or the chief negotiating officer would be the one to control all angles of each and every department. And that's why my good friends in S.C. Johnson, by the way, they were here also here in Oklahoma, wanted to test the waters on what this new system is all about. Because they were smart enough not to make their company go public. Very smart move. It's a more profitable way to do business. But sometimes you really have to go public. But there are risks there, just like what Unilever is suffering right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you come out with this new system and you are into the manufacturing world, you will always maximize your profits in a given day. How to do that? All you have to do is give me a shout, because this is rather urgent, because we want this to be immediately copyrighted, at least because we cannot patent the whole thing. I know it's going to be copied overnight. And all you gotta do is give me a shout at 405-503-8511. And I'd like to thank you for your time, because we are going to put this in writing to Mr. Fernandez to make it an overnight reality, an overnight success, to stop the civil war in Unilever right now. Or if you want to hit me an email, my email address is superdeals1494@gmail.com. To all my Unilever connections in Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, my warm regards, and to the new CEO with Unilever, Mr. Fernando Fernandez, my warm regards, your well-deserved promotion. I hope to see you soon, and if I have to fly in Great Britain, I will be there in no time at all. Thank you. Good afternoon. It is afternoon here right now in Oklahoma, Greater Oklahoma City. And good night to the other parts of the world, because I know there's a lot of scrambling going on right now because of this new methodology, procedure, and I am more than happy to make it happen for your company. Not only Unilever, but other manufacturing companies that urgently need my help. Thank you again, and see you tomorrow.